Hello. Okay, so this reading is for Nelly. Let me just give you a little bit of background about how this works for you. For these free readings, I usually pull 2 or 3 cards or however many fall out of the deck, and I'll read those. I always say I'm going to do 1 card and then 2, 3, or 4 pop out, so that's what I do. So what I do is I pull the cards, or they jump out, and then I start to interpret it, and the words start to come. And hopefully this resonates with you. I have asked for that only spirits, guides, and angels of the highest vibration respond and help me with this reading. And that I also ask for grace, compassion, objectivity, and clarity for this, and that's something that you may get a message that resonates with you. I also typically on these first readings, usually just a question of, what do you need to know for your highest good? A lot of times if people have a very specific question, it's answered with these cards. If you do have questions once the reading is finished, then you are certainly welcome to ask me for those questions as well. I'm going to use 2 decks here. One of them is, I'll show you, it's the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And this deck uses ancient symbols, and a lot of them even from before the written word. And I will actually, they come with an essence, and then they come either with or a medication. And the encouragement typically is well, you'll see. If it comes in reverse, card comes in reverse, this is actually kind of a very cool thing, because then the information is very, very specific. So I will read you the essence of it, and then I'll share with you. And typically what happens is the cards come, I start to read, and then words, when they stop coming, I'm done. So this will take as long as it takes. And all I ask is that you listen with an open heart, and we'll see what we get. We have 1 card pop out so far. Let's see. The second deck I'm going to use is a deck that this one focuses life path and that sort of thing. And the second deck actually focuses on healing. And I almost always pull at least 1 or 2 cards from the healing deck, because we all need a little bit of healing. And the idea is to strive towards physical, emotional, and spiritual balance. So I always like to throw a little healing card in there. So that's what we'll do. And I'll show you the cards. Sometimes I draw at the top, sometimes I just pull cards randomly, sometimes I wait for cards to pop out. I love doing readings. Let's see if we get one more. I think I need. This is a nice way to do it, because 1 card is good, 2 cards are better. But when you have more than 1 card, it's nice to be able to see the whole thing, because the picture is drawn as you put the story together. So 4 cards pop out. Okay. So I'm going to start. Okay, so let's start up here. You have beautiful cards. Okay, so the first card comes from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So I want to read, I'm going to read the original uh, meaning of the symbolism. And the symbolism comes really from um, all spiritual paths, from Christianity, from uh, Eastern religion, all those spiritual paths. What's interesting about the spiritual paths is it really doesn't matter which spiritual path you subscribe to, because the ultimate truth is that we're all striving for the sun, or um, you're Buddhist or Muslim or whatever. The idea is still the same, that we experience in this life the things that we should. We experience joy. We are all energy, and in this life, we are energy experiencing the human experience. And so it's uh, the goal is always the same. It's the journey that's different, and the journey is very individual. So it's quite a lovely gift to be able to experience the love that you experience through a spiritual journey, regardless of, of where the information is coming. And the truth is the truth. The the truth doesn't care which religion you are, or if you're in any religion at all. A lot of people live very spiritual lives without subscribing to any one or other path. So here's the essence of the smoky mirror. Let me show you the beautiful artwork on this, and how much there's there's just such lovely imagery in these cards. Some of the most gorgeous artwork I've ever seen. The first card was the smoky mirror. And here's the essence. The smoky mirror represents the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world. The mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious causality. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche, the parts of self that one disowns. The smoky mirror can also represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth. So you got all of your cards actually in the upright position. So no medicine for you, and that's a good sign, because that typically means that you are on the right path and you are moving forward. So when the smoky mirror, this card is the message with this card is that sometimes we really can't see details, and hyper focusing on something, that we kind of miss the big picture. And we can't move forward or make good decisions if we can't see the whole thing. People that are very successful um, and living abundant lives are good because they're detail oriented, but they can see the whole picture. They can see everything. And they're very good at being honest and authentic, both with themselves and in what they portray to the world. And, most often when people are not being authentic, it's a fear based response. And so, smoky mirror, you're being asked to look beyond yourself, which um, kind of means, there's everything is connected, and beyond what we can see, there is um, purpose, and so um, this card is inviting you. This card has the essence, which is the meaning of the symbols. It has the invitation, and it has the medicine. And the invitation with this, or the encouragement, is that you trust that regardless of whatever your current situation is, um, whether it's situation or people, or um, something that's as a result of outside influences or personal choices that you've made, or whatever, it doesn't matter. The situation that you find yourself in now, you're asked to, it says, now is the time to trust that no matter what the current conditions of your world reflect, In the hidden realms, all aspects of the human journey are celebrated, the beauty and the darkness, the misery and the courage. So the idea here is that no matter where you are in your journey, and this is your journey, the journey of your life, that there are some things that are meant to remain a mystery. If we had all the answers, there would be no requirement of faith. We wouldn't learn anything. We wouldn't be growing and expanding and becoming better and becoming more of our higher selves if we didn't have to trudge through a little mud. And it's kind of like you don't really appreciate the sweet if you've never tasted sour. You don't really appreciate light if we've never actually experienced darkness. There's a story um, that Rumi tells, a story about the sun and the moon. And, the sun and all its brightness and glory had never really experienced darkness. And the moon, or the darkness, the shadows, had never experienced light. So the sun invited darkness into its space. And darkness came into light and was astonished at what it saw. And was amazed at the beauty and how different everything was. And then darkness invited sun into its place. And the sun went into the darkness and it realized, oh my gosh, look at this. It's amazing, it's different, it's beautiful. And the the message behind that is not only did they understand each other better, but they realized that they were both looking at the same thing, but seeing it from very different perspectives. And once they saw it from the other perspective, their understanding and their love of what they were looking at, which was their world, grew exponentially. And so recognizing that sometimes we find ourselves in situations or we have people in our lives that we automatically and instantly recognize as blessings. And then there's other things that maybe not so much, but there's always a gift in there. And also recognize that blessings always come after the storm. So if you find yourself in a place where things are a little bit difficult, you can recognize that um, that this too shall pass, and you will be moving towards the light and towards better days. And if you are in this light and things are moving very well for you and everything is going great, recognize that you need to be recognizing and enjoying and appreciating the beauty that you're in at that moment, because even in the light we have lessons to learn. So really clear at the moment, and you can't really see what's going on. You can't see the forest for the trees, or you're not seeing what the message is and the lesson is, and where you are right now in your life, to know that eventually the smoky mirror will clear and everything will be revealed to you, and the beauty and the wonder will expose itself, and the beauty and the wonder is coming. Just know that things are on the move, and they're moving on the move in a very positive direction for you. So that's an exciting card to have. And then the next card you got was the journey, and I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards. I love it when this card pops up in a reading. It's because one of the things that people forget, sometimes we get so mired in the day to day, or so hyper focused on the goal and what it is we are working toward, that we miss what's happening on the journey. But really, we don't want to do that, because the end goal is fine, but the magic is in the journey. The magic is in the process and the path that we go. And honestly, you come to a fork in the road, doesn't even matter which one you take, because either one is going to get you where you're going. The lessons are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be exposed to you a little bit differently. But it doesn't matter which one you take because the magic is in the journey. So let me read you the essence of this card. The journey is an invitation to step outside the boundaries of your life as you know it. The journey is not a holiday, it's a call to be hermit-like and to go on a pilgrimage into the unknown. There are no maps to the territory you're respecting, no marked paths or road signs. So it's adventure. It's an opportunity for you to experience something new and to become much more in tune with your inner self, in tune with nature, in tune with the things, with the direction that your life is going, and to experience the magic on the way. And so many times we have all these blessings just landing in our laps, and we miss them because we're looking at this point far off in the distance, and we're not realizing all the things that are happening in between. And then you really know you've grown a lot when you look back a year ago or 5 years ago, and you see how different you are, and the magic that happens in the journey as it's happening. There's no point in worrying and fussing and fretting over what happened in the past. You need to understand too also, I feel very compelled to tell you at this moment, Nelly, that you need to know that how you responded to people and to situations in your past, you were doing the best you could at the time with the experience, the knowledge, and the love that you had at the time. And if you had those exact same experiences now, you would deal with them differently because you're a different person today than you were yesterday, last month, last year, because we're always in forward motion. So there's no need to regret what you did then because who you were yesterday or a year ago or a decade ago is who you were supposed to be. You were who you were supposed to be at that time, and you were where you were supposed to be at that time. Just like today, you are who you are supposed to be, and you are where you are supposed to be. And that's a beautiful gift. And just know that, whatever happened in the past, there were lessons from that. You took them. You can let them go. You can let go of anything that no longer serves you and continue to move forward. And just recognize that sometimes we learn lessons the easy way, and sometimes we learn them the hard way. But either way, regardless of how we get the lessons are there for our highest good. And so this is really a beautiful card. So this card, when this card shows up in a reading, it's actually kind of exciting because it means the time for you to move forward and take some risks is right now. You are ready. There is no reason for you to hesitate. Any hesitation in you trying something new or moving forward in some new direction or doing something that feels a little challenging or maybe outside of your purview, there's no need to fear that because you're ready. Recognize that those opportunities that are coming to you and these moments of great inspiration are all divinely inspired. And any opportunities that come to you have been chosen and selected and designed for you. So if you were to have someone offer you, for example, something and you think, oh, well, I've never done that before. You know what? Everything you've ever done in your life, you had to do it for the first time. So don't be afraid to embark on a journey that seems a little scary. And it's okay if you don't know what's down the road. It's okay if you go into this really not knowing the outcome because that's kind of the excitement of it all, really. And we all have we all have the gift of intuition and the power of discernment. And the power of discernment is designed to keep you safe. And always trust your intuition because your intuition is never wrong. You listen to your gut. And if something seems, if your immediate thought is, I want to do this or I want to move in this direction, the journey card is suggesting that you should do so. And however you're feeling at that moment is really it's divinely inspired. It's your own personal spiritual guide. Just because we leave the spirit realm to come and have this human experience doesn't mean that we're separated from it. Everything is connected. And so those that love us on the other side of the veil are with us every step of the way. So anytime you get a little whisper in your ear about, let's go here, or talk to this person, or let's try something new, that's your connection to the side, and they can see everything, and they love you, and they want you to experience these things and experience the magic of the journey. So these two cards really go together so nicely because they really are about the mystery and the gifts of life. So they're very exciting cards. And the whole idea is you're being asked to step out of your comfort zone and take some risks and recognize that you deserve. All limitations are self-imposed. So there's nothing that you can't do or you can't achieve or you can't have. And you're certainly on the right path. However it is you're feeling right now about your life and what's going on in your life, your thinking is right. You're certainly welcome to trust that, but don't be afraid to step out on the limb, because that's where all the fruit is, and that's a very exciting place to be. One of the interesting things that this card says is, when the time is right, as it is now, you will be led true, even when you are not sure of where you're going. It's the departure that is most important. If you miss the boat, the great opportunity will lost, and another ship may not arrive for a long time. So take a risk. Don't, fear can propel you or can paralyze you. And you're being encouraged to allow fear to propel you. There's really only two emotions that govern everything in the universe, and it's love and fear. If it isn't love, it's fear. Whether it's anger or hate or disgust or anything other than love, it still comes from fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the mystery, fear of the consequences, fear of the repercussions, fear of failure. The most successful people in the world fail. The difference is they fail until they get it. They don't quit. And so you're being asked not to quit. You're being asked to move forward with courage. And that doesn't mean that it's not scary. Courage means you're scared and you do it anyway. So that's very exciting. Now, from the healing deck, you've got two cards. And the first card you got is Breaking Free. And this is a lovely card. I really need to find a way to show these cards a little bit nicer. Breaking Free. So what this card is, it's all about letting go of those things that no longer serve you. So an example would be, you've had a repetitive experience. Say every time you've tried something, you've had a particular outcome. So you decide you're no longer going to do that. But if we step back and look at the whole picture, a lot of times what we realize is, because we're having the same outcome because of what we're contributing to the situation or to the relationship. And a really good example of that is, say you have kind of a tumultuous relationship with someone in your family, or with a coworker or a boss or whatever. We know that we can't change people, but what we can do is we can change the way we respond to them. And when we change the way we respond to someone's behavior, their behavior changes. And that's really what this is about. Letting go of those lessons that we learned when we were not who we are now. So you're being asked with this card to let go of anything that, if you have a negative opinion about certain things, or if you feel like there's something that you can't do or that you don't deserve, you need to let that go. Because, again, you are not today who you were last week, last month, last year. And maybe you weren't ready then, but maybe you're ready now. So remember that all limitations are self-imposed. There is nothing that you cannot do or you cannot accomplish. And I know that you have experienced that you are the kind of person that you put your mind to something and you do it, and you set goals for yourself and you work hard towards those goals, and you have uh, a plan for yourself that you want. Just don't forget the journey. Don't miss the magic on the journey. Don't be so hyper focused on the end game that you miss all the exciting things that are happening on your way to that. Because honestly, what's going to happen is you're going to get to that end game. It's going to be time to do something else, and you'll have missed it. And sometimes that's why we repeat things. That's why we repeat behaviors. That's why we have the same types of people or the same types of situations in our lives. So um, when you let go of the shackles of limiting beliefs that prevent you from moving forward, it's like sprouting wings, and that's very exciting. That's a very exciting thing. Um, and what's better than sprouting wings and being able to do anything and go anywhere and recognize your own power, and then being a blessing to other people, because that's exactly what happens when we become our best. Um, and we are doing our best and becoming our best selves, which is an always an ever evolving thing, by the way, then not only by taking care of ourselves do we bless ourselves and improve our lives, and that is an amazing gift. And then the fourth card is parenting and children. And this card, it's not just about parents and children, it's about family in general. And this, there's a couple of things with this card. One is um, recognizing the gift that you have in family, even for those people that make your life a little difficult. You're being asked to see how those difficult people can be a blessing to you. You know, I mean, sometimes it's as simple as a lesson as I don't want to be this person. I don't want to respond the way this person responds. I don't want to be that. And by seeing that, I know that I want to do something else. And the other message with this is that recognize the blessing it is in the people that are in your circle. And I'll tell you something, your vibe is your tribe. So the people coming into your life that are going to be like family, the new people that are coming in, uh, are going to be great blessings to you. And but they're going to be, you know, if you are a positive, strong, motivated person, then positive, strong, motivated people are going to want to be around you. Those are the kinds of people. It's the law of attraction at its best and at its strongest. So what you put out comes back to you, and that's true in relationships. It's true in opportunities, whether you're talking about people or situations. So with this card, with the parenting and children, you're asked to look for the blessings where they're not quite as obvious. It's very easy to see the blessings in people who edify you and lift you up and make you feel good about yourself. But you're being asked also to look for the blessings in other people and to serve those that make life a little difficult for you, because you cannot love someone that you serve. You can't not love someone that you serve. So if there's someone who's a little bit difficult, find a way to serve them, whether it's um, keeping your mouth shut when you'd really like to speak, or whether it's doing something kind for them, even though maybe they may not appreciate it, or maybe they don't deserve it, or or whatever. But it's finding a way to serve them, because we love those that we serve, and it can be something very small. Um, so I feel like um, also I need to say to you. I need to talk to you about forgiveness. Forgiveness, you forgiving, whether it's yourself or someone else, other people. You need to know that forgiveness is never for the recipient. Forgiveness isn't for the person that you forgive. Forgiveness is for you, because it drops those shackles that bind us to limiting beliefs, and holds us down and prevents us from using those wings that we can sprout by letting go of limiting beliefs and letting go of old hurts and old pain. So, because this card is talking about serving people that are harder to love. You're being asked to forgive them, and um, a lot of people will say, "Well, I forgive, but I never forget." And I'm here to tell you that that's not genuine forgiveness. In the breaking free card, you're asked to let go of the things that no longer serve you. And when we say we forgive, but we never forget, it means that we are really still holding on to the negative aspect of a lesson. And you're being strongly encouraged to let that go. And I feel like I need to tell you that it's important that you forgive yourself. And I don't really know what that's about, um, other than a feeling of feeling like maybe you contributed to something and you didn't. Remember that other people's choices and other people's them. It is not a reflection of you. So let that go. But I think forgiveness is very important for you to continue to move forward. And it's going to really help you as you come um, to this path, this journey that's going to move you forward. And I feel like there's very, very exciting things. There's a lot of um, light and there's like in this card and beauty and just the sanctity of life itself. And this card is talking about not being able to see clearly, but then it's all kinds of light. It means that the truth is there and the light is there and the movement is possible. That smoky mirror is going to clear up for you just fine. And in the journey, again, it's another very beautiful card, and there's all kinds of things happening in this card. There's lots of light. There's an owl here, that represents the wisdom of your own heart, the knowledge that you have. So if you will let go of limiting beliefs and you will forgive, and let go of those things that no longer serve you, you have a beautiful journey coming your way. So I hope that um, uh, resonates with you in some way, and that you see some value in that message for you. And as always, if you have specific questions about any of that, if you have questions that have come up because of that, then you're certainly welcome to contact me, and I'll be happy to respond to that here on the side. Um, we're watching. Hi, Leslie. Murder trial. Hi. Hi, Devin. A couple of minutes, and we can chat. I don't typically chat on those when I'm doing a reading for somebody. So, Nelly, thank you so much for letting me read for you. And let me know if you have any questions, and if you need some more cards, we'll be happy to do that for you. And know that there's a lot of light and love and peace coming your way, and that it is well deserved. And I'm actually quite excited for you because I think your journey is about to take a very exciting turn. So um, I will close with what my friend always says: Namaste.